Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Braxcast. This is the 62nd episode of the Braxcast, and we've got some exciting stuff, mostly focusing around Yaira number 3. That's, of course, the big thing for the Rippaverse, but we do have another big thing as well for Rip Ascend. This has been talked about for a long time. Of course, Mighty Golden Patriot from YellowFlash and John Dillard is on the scene. Sold over 1,000 books in the first day. Last time I checked, it's at $1,200. I believe a little over $30,000. I'm filming this on Saturday, and I believe Flashcast is going to be Saturday night. So it's going to be really interesting to see the first full week of sales. It's going to be very interesting to see how the entire campaign goes, because it's going to be the campaign is going to be going on till July, and it's going to end on a Saturday. So that way it ends on a day that Flashcast is done. This is, of course, a World War II story, mixing in the Sentai elements, because I think YellowFlash likes that a lot. And John Dillard seems to be sympathetic to that as well. Saw some of the preview pages. I did go on that on live stream. It was a bit of a shorter live stream because Eric did live stream like half an hour after I started mine, so I cut mine a bit short. We had a really fun show, of course, with Rippa Guy coming in. We went on Rippaspiracies. Definitely want to do more segments like that and such, but that was a bit of a shorter episode because Mighty Golden Patriot launched. Of course, you got the Pay Your Artist shirt, you've got signed and graded copies, and of course you've got 4. So this is a pretty typical format for a Rippaverse collection. Of course, this is a Rip Ascend project. You've still got that Rippaverse there. So I still think there needs to be more work in differentiating between Rippaverse and Rip Ascend, although I might be in the minority on that one. But this does seem to be a pretty strong start for Mighty Golden Patriot. We'll see where it goes. And of course, it's coming with an ash can as well. So you're not just getting that main story, you're getting a little ash can. That's, I believe, a prequel, because it's the main character's father that's covered in that, from what I heard from John Dillard. So there's definitely a lot of passion. Really excited to get into this eventually when I do get my copy. I didn't buy it yet. I want to buy it when I move and I have an address, because it's shipping quarter free, and hopefully before quarter free ends, before the campaign ends, I have my new address. I get that order in, and then don't have to worry about that. But for now, I'm sitting on the sidelines on this one. Definitely very excited, and it honestly looks fantastic. I think one of the preview pages, the face on the main protagonist, didn't look the best, but all the other art looks absolutely fantastic, especially these cover arts, and I'm sure the art for the covers, I should say, and I'm sure in person the interiors are going to really look good, because Dillard is a fantastic artist. But on to Yaira number 3. So of course, Yaira number 3 launched this week. We did get this D cover done by Jack Herbert and Marco Martins, but we've got the other 3 covers that we're going to talk about. Usually have them all printed out as 4 covers, but I decided to go and just choose your cover. So you might, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. There. So this is cover A. This is done by Rini Draws, or Rini Strakowski. Of course, she did the map for Great War Separation. So Great War Separation number 1, it opens with a map of the United States before the Great War Separation starts, with Texas and parts of Oklahoma still being part of Texas, and of course the eastern seaboard as well. Irene did that map. She also did this cover A for Yaira number 1, with Stefania and Yaira really fighting at it. Fantastic cover. You've got cover B. This is done by Kanan White. This is, of course, the retro cover. Absolutely fantastic to see. Do really like it, and it's really nice that Kanan is doing a retro cover, because he's done main covers, he's done mass print covers, but him doing a retro cover, which cover B is really settling into being that retro cover. Absolutely fantastic. Love to see it. Surrounded by enemies. More introductions. It's going to be the end for one of the characters. Don't know who. Absolutely love all those text boxes that get revealed to us, because it allows us to speculate wildly on what the future is going to be. Of course, zooming back out, I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is the C cover. This is done by Zoran, I can say it right, Jovicek. And this is, of course, I believe Magus Kunzite, if I'm saying that correctly. So Magus Kunzite does have a Princess Bride. I believe this is her. This is the signature series I went for. I went for this one. I only had the budget for one. I have a bit of a problem with with hoarding all these slabs of comic books. But I did get the C cover for this one. Or I should say I got the sign graded for the C cover, because this is, of course, the foiled and embossed cover. Looks absolutely fantastic. Of course, with her having a cover, means she's going to be pretty big in this, and it's most likely based off of the trailer, where she's giving Yaira these, mental delusions, and this mental warfare, tricking her into thinking that Magus Newmite, Yanessa, and Yantoni are still alive, even though I think Magus Newmite still being alive and having him come back would be really interesting to see, considering how cool of a character he is. So him not being alive in the current timeline and his death being permanent, it just feels like a bit of a missed opportunity, especially with the way his character is. There's definitely ways for him to have survived the events of Yaira #1. Perhaps through Magus Kunite. We'll see what happens. And of course, the D cover is the cover that was revealed to us after item #1 made our, item #3 made $500,000. We hit that first benchmark. Could be the only benchmark we hit for that campaign. We might hit that 750K. Hope that we do, so we get that Pokemon card. But for now, we hit that $500,000. And of course, in that, item #3 also sold over 10,000 bucks. Really, really cool to see that. But anyways, this cover was revealed, so we knew this one. But this is Jack Herbert, colored by Marcos Martin, which is the same for cover C. And of course, cover B is done by Kanan White, colored by, I'm saying this correctly, Guari Mendez, and cover A is colored by Andrew Kramer, if I'm saying that correctly. Absolutely fantastic covers. In fact, that Yaira 3 is coming out so soon after Yaira #2 is absolutely fantastic, and really loving this release schedule. But we're getting into some of the preview pages. So instead of printing out all the covers on their own individual pages, we'll go through the preview art, because I think this is a more interesting thing. Of course, we're seeing this conflict between Yaira and Stefania, and of course we've got Yashua getting involved, because of course he's going to live, survive the events of Yaira #2. Going to think that of course they're going to think that both Sally Rodell, and I forget what Yashua's alter ego was in Yaira #2, but with the events of Yaira #2, they think that they're both dead, when they clearly aren't, because they are, say, superhuman, but they're definitely alien X-Ups. And I absolutely love how Deborah Kurita renders out the Alpha Core. Of course, you've got Brian, Braxwell, and Ingrid there, and then you've got Stefania there flying. Very, very fantastic to see. I just love you've got the face-off between them, and then it goes into the conflict. Of course, a lot of this is going to be focused still around Neptune and his narrative. Of course, we've got Clito. We also have a spoiler poster for Yaira #3, so we haven't seen that. So there's going to be a massive spoiler that's going to be depicted by, or going to be depicted in the spoiler poster. We don't know exactly what that is. I haven't got that poster. I have a bunch of posters still that are tubes, so I want to get a bunch of frames, have a nice little studio and set them all up, but that is someday in the future. This is, of course, an underwater scene. Absolutely love to see these. And I believe Jay Brown is still doing the colors on this. I love Kurita's line work. Of course, Viago Gnomes and 137 Studios are the inkers for this project. They do fantastic work. Absolutely love to see all these underwater scenes here. I believe you got Yashua there comforting the Sally, who is sleeping on a couch, or just waking up, I should say. And then you've got more or less deep, I guess, in the palace of Neptune. Of course, these are Neptune sons, as you see with Yaira at the end of Yaira #2. It's one of the more getting on the way to the climax of Yaira #2, and of course that cliffhanger that it ends on. Absolutely love these underwater scenes. All the colors are absolutely fantastic. Now, of course, we've got the final preview page here, and that is, we've got Clito. I believe this is the wife of Neptune that was talked about. I should say that was a big focus of Yaira #2, is more or less introducing Clito along with Neptune. And of course, a lot of that, really the focus became with Yaira #2 going towards setting up the fact that she's engaged in this mental battle, rather than a purely physical one. And of course, you've got the introduction of Yashua in those flashback scenes that really hint at her past even before she came to Earth and she met Gorm and she had her children. Of course, one of whom Stefania is a descendant of. So you've got the scene where it seems like Leto is going to come up to the surface and reveal herself to the world. You've got Altona there. You've got another reporter. I'm not sure of another reporter. I think someone who worked with Projexis Spain. I forget his name, but he's very critical of Sally Rodell. Probably that character. Of course, you've got the ship there. Very interesting stuff to see. So we're going to see how Sally Rodell is going to be able to maintain her secret identity, especially if she just pops up and be like, hey, I'm fine. I know you guys thought, my submarine broke at the, bottom of the sea and we got into like an Ocean Gate situation, but I'm fine, guys. No suspicions at all. So we'll see, but how she maintains her secret identity. After the events of Yaira number 3, or I should say after the events of Yaira number 2, and Yaira number 3. But I'm sure the Saskas are going to have a way to maintain that, because I know, or I should say, I imagine that Sally Rodell is going to be very essential to the character of Yaira, or that secret identity, and her working with Projexis, and perhaps Altona is going to be on her side with some stipulations and help her cover things up and maintain her secret identity. It's going to be a very, very interesting thing to see how this keeps panning out, because they are not pulling any punches, and with the way the release schedule is, once we get Yaira number 3, I don't think Yaira number 4 is going to take that much longer after Yaira number 3 comes out. But that is, of course, the big news. Great War Separation 2, I believe, closed out on Friday, and most of the limited items, I believe, have sold out. I know cover A did. I think B did as well, and C probably is as well. So if you guys want to get in on those limited items, you have to order during the collection window. Of course, the D cover, the mass print covers, are always going to be available. And if you're not a collector like me, you're always going to be able to get into the content and read it. And one of the things with something like Great War Separation is that I imagine a lot of people are waiting for the entire series to run through and have an omnibus that's released, which I hope they do. I believe this is going to be a 4-part series. So we've got number 2 that's on the way. And of course, we got number 1 already. Reviewed that. It was a really good book. Jack Herbert's art is fantastic. Chuck Dixon wrote a great script. And I'm sure it's going to be even better as we get more insight into the Great War Separation and that foundational lore. And I feel the same with Yaira, with just her character, because there's just so much in terms of the cosmic aspect to her character, and of course, the way she interacts with Projexis. And of course, you've got her interactions now with Neptune as well. So there's just a lot of facets with the character of Yaira that we're slowly getting revealed to us, because of course, we only have 2 books from her. And of course, the third being on the way. And we got those little previews that really tease us a little bit. Love to see those crossovers with the Alpha Core. It'll be really exciting to see how, if she can reconcile her relationship with Stefania. I doubt she will. I doubt, or if she can, I doubt that's going to happen with Yaira number 3. But we'll see how it all pans out. Of course, you guys can tune into the Braxcast, and I'll give you the lowdown. And of course, Velvet Room Publishing will keep up with reviewing all of the Rippaverse books. But that's all I have for now. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode of the Braxcast. Joker is out. Thank you for tuning in to the Braxcast. Be sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe to keep up with the Rippaverse.